The theme song during the credits. Yep. That's what we live for.
Yep.
Although I would have went with, I want my BB back, BB back, BB back, BB back.
That one would have worked.
Friend.
BB back, BB back.
Yeah.
Friend.
That would have worked.
Yeah.
I don't think that song was out at that time, though.
No.
Yeah. Chili's baby back ribs. All right. So, Deadly Friend. This is a movie that I have definitely seen. And I had a total stick up my ass the first time I watched it. Because I hated it. And only remembered the basketball kill. And I have never had anything nice to say about the movie. And, yeah. I'm a total asshole because this movie is freaking awesome. This is like just pure 80s ridiculousness.
Yes.
Fun. You know, and here's another thing, like, what's really kind of great about this film is, even though, like, you know, we watch horror movies all the time, right? We watch innocent people get killed all the time. It is really nice, once in a while, for a movie like this to kill only people who deserve it.
Yes.
Right?
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, she just kind of, like, goes through the list and kills off everyone you want to die.
Yeah.
Except for her.
Right?
Yeah. She dies in the end, but... Or does she?
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll talk about that, but...
We can talk about the ending.
That's a great... That's actually my favorite thing in the film. Is that she kills only awful people that you're, like, just wanting to die the entire film.
Yeah, the whole time.
And, you know, the film doesn't... What I also really like about that is, like, while the bully is a tad typical, I don't know, they have a good way of presenting the villainous characters that she kills without it being so in your face in that, like, oh, we're just doing this to kill them later. Right?
Sure.
Like, Buddy Repperton in Christine is a good example of that, where he's just that bully in school and you hate him and you're just happy he's dead. And then there's other characters, and it's just usually in poorer movies, but it's like they're there and they're just so ridiculously awful and they just keep pushing it and you're like, okay, I get it, like
they suck.
Let's kill this person already.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like all these villains are just kind of like, yes, they're over the top, but they're not so over the top to me that it just is eye-rolly.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I thought that they, like, you know, they were awful, but they served a purpose other than just to be, like, you know, fodder in the end.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're there to be the antagonists. But, like, okay, the movie is supposed to be scary, right? And that's the point of it. I mean, even the freaking... it's not on here, but on the real poster, the theatrical poster, which is not like this, it says something like, you know, from the creator of Nightmare on Elm Street comes his most terrifying vision yet, or nightmare yet, or whatever the hell. I mean, this movie's not scary. It's silly. So, but the point of it, right, is it's trying to actually be scary, which is, I think, probably why I didn't like it the first time, is I was like, this is the film he made right after Nightmare. And it was like, Nightmare, while it does have some playfulness to it, very little, but it does have some, it's a scary movie, right? This one is just not, and I just kind of was watching it like, this is so ridiculous. I can't take this seriously for a second. But then removing myself from that thought process and just watching it as a fun 80s movie, like if Wes Craven's name wasn't attached to it, I'd be all about this film.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to, like, compare it to Nightmare, or, like, we just watched Chiller too, like, the order of the films that come out, because this is, like, definitely not on the same level as Nightmare, but it was fun and campy.
Yeah.
And like it was actually really sad. I felt
Yeah.
super bad for Samantha the whole time, and BB, because I guess they're like one and the same
In the end, yeah.
in the end.
For sure, in the end.
But I don't know. I had a good time, and I feel like the acting wasn't bad from everybody. Like it was decent acting, you
Sure.
know, and the writing was fine. Like I thought that the dialogue and everything. Like I liked what are their names? The main guy and his friend,
Paul and Tom.
Paul and Tom. I liked their dynamic and everything, and I don't know. I was into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like stock acting for one of these types of movies, right?
Sure.
Like a bigger,
it wasn't anything
not a
like,
bigger budget, but like a moderate budget, mid-80s horror film. You know, something you get in like a Friday 4, right? Like
yeah.
Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. It's kind of that level, which is perfect. I mean, Friday 4 is my favorite slasher of all time. You know, so that's not a knock at all. It's just that kind of level. It's not winning any Academy Awards.
No, it's
right?
not.
It's just,
But
it's
not,
adequate.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, it's adequate.
Yeah.
It's exactly what the film needs it to be. But I was going to say something, but I don't remember. We'll still move on from it. Anyway, so we've got Chrissy Swanson in here, which is the most recognizable face for sure. Obviously being the original Buffy, but I mean, I've seen her in a few things for sure. But that's her most memorable to me. And it's ironic because we were watching Short Circuit right before we watched this.
Yeah.
And BB is so similar.
It's like the
to number
same
5.
robot. I'm convinced. I don't know.
The chassis.
I'm super convinced because their eyes are like the same. The hands are the same.
Yeah.
Everything's the same. They just put like the yellow case on BB.
Yeah, it's got like the tank tracks on it and everything. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really funny.
I don't know. I mean, I could definitely. It is funny to watch this and watch that because, like, obviously, Short Circuit is like lighthearted family comedy, and this is like violent horror. But yeah, I mean, how close in years did they come out to each other? I think this one is first, but I could be wrong on that. We'd have to Google it, but I think Short Circuit would be after this, but I'm not 100% on that. Anyways, I just thought that was ironic, and the fact that it talks like a Jawa and is named BB,
Yeah.
as in BB-8.
Right?
I mean, obviously BB-8 came after this, but the Jawas came before this. So I don't know if J.J. Abrams or whoever the hell, Michael Arndt or whoever the hell came up with BB-8's name was
From
watching
watching
Some
this.
Deadly Friend.
I know, right?
It was like, robot named BB. BB-8? Let's go with it. Hi, how's it going? The opening music in this it's so funny. This has that kind of like Gremlins or Poltergeist or, something like that Spielberg produced kind of adventure horror for like family.
Yeah.
But then it has like, over the top gore in certain moments.
Yeah.
So I feel like this film could have tried to play to that audience had it not went, with the basketball scene and the last scene. Other than that, and then, I don't know, there are some darker elements to it, though, that I don't think you could sneak into a Goonies type of film.
Yeah.
Right? Where the
like
dad
the
is...
dad
I
being
don't know what he is. I don't...
He's
Is
abusive and probably molesting her.
Yeah, I can't
That's
tell if he's molesting her
definitely-
because the one thing that we get of him coming into her bedroom is a dream.
Yeah, but just because she's having a nightmare about it doesn't mean it hasn't happened
Sure,
before.
sure.
And she like locks her door with the chair.
He's
in
definitely
front of
hitting her.
Yes.
So he's abusing her for sure.
Yes.
Whether he's sexually abusing her, I'm 50-50 on it. It seems... Maybe I'll be 60-40 on it. It seems more likely than not.
I think it is,
You
yeah.
think? Yeah.
Which sucks.
Probably.
But that would be hard to sneak into a different...
to like a Gremlins type movie.
Yeah, I'd be like,
yeah, that's probably a little too much. But I don't know. They're making cocaine jokes in the Goonies, so I don't fucking know. The '80s was a wild time. But yeah, then Paul and Tom meet, and Tom is like very curious about, of course, BB. He's freaking out, and then Paul's like. Or I guess Tom asks Paul, like, "Oh, are you going to like 10th grade? Or are you going to be in the high school here?" And it's like, bro, I just told you I made this robot. Like, I created AI.
Like, literally made a robot.
Like, I'm past high school.
Yeah, way past it.
Like, I graduated. Look.
Yeah.
I don't care how old I am. I made this thing. I'm not going to high school anymore.
No, not
He's
no
like
more.
teaching at Polytechnic, right? Like, as he would. This is some freaking, like, Mitch from Real Genius type shit, right? Mm-hmm. This is not some kid in high school. I thought it was funny, but, like, his reaction to him telling him he goes to Polytech is like, okay, well, whatever. And, like, walks off. I guess he's just...
He's, like, miffed by it.
Jealous?
Yeah.
Or, like, he thinks he's sticking his nose up at him. So I thought he was going to be, like, an adversary because of that. Like, oh, you think you're fucking smarter than me? You think you're better than me? But then they're like BFFs next time you see them.
I know, yeah, I kind of
like,
that too.
Okay, I guess he got over it.
They got over it really quick.
Yeah.
It's like, I want a friend.
Yeah.
So you'll be my friend.
You be my friend.
Deadly friend?
You can be my deadly friend. We've got a really... here's another really good part about this movie. And we'll say 2, but possibly 3. I'm not sure yet. We'll talk about that. But for sure, 2. We have 2 dream sequences in here. And neither of them bother me at all. Because I think they're both great. They're really good dream sequences. Mm-hmm. We got Sam's dad getting stabbed by the vase and him bleeding all over him while saying crazy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
And
it's
she's
like,
just
you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm dad or something.
Covered in blood.
Yeah.
And she's just screaming as he's like going nuts. That's awesome. And
yes.
It's a dream at that point. That's the thing. I've always said before, like, when you're in on it, like, I don't care if you set up you can set it up like it's real for the first half of the dream. But somewhere along the way, maybe around the midpoint of it, if you, like, let me in on, like, okay, this is clearly a dream, like in Nice Guys when he looks over and he's like a fucking bee.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
like, all right,
I'm pretty sure that's a dream at this point.
Yeah.
I doubt Russell Crowe turned into a bee. But I hate when dream sequences are fake outs, like in the end, when the person wakes up right as you think something major just happened. Like when she stabs him and he's laughing and he's bleeding all over it. Like, it's clear it's a dream at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm totally fine with that. The fact that, like, now the second one, it's a fake out till the last maybe 5 seconds, but even the last 5 seconds, it's that, I guess that when the dream is obviously a dream at any point and then the person wakes up, I'm fine with it, even if it's in the last second or two. It's when it's made to be believable until they wake up. That's what I don't like. So when when the head's coming up under the sheets or in the blanket, and then he pulls it back and it's the dead burnt dad, and he's like having the he's all traumatized, right, from having to hide this guy's body. I don't know why he gives a shit. I mean, outside of he doesn't want to get caught and he doesn't want her to get in trouble, sure. But this guy, if anybody in this movie deserved to die, it's him 100,000 times over,
yes.
Right? I would rather him die 15 times in this film than anybody else in the film dying. He's by far and away the worst. But yeah, his head's revealed under, and I really like how that thing slinks under
I do too.
the bed. It's very creepy, and I thought it was her for sure, and then he pulls it back and it's his burnt face, which of course is kind of reminiscent of Freddy.
Yeah, I thought that, obviously.
Right? Pulling Johnny Depp into the bed and everything.
Yes, I thought that immediately. But I really liked it too. I thought it was very creepy.
Yeah. So 2 dream sequences that don't bother me at all, and a potential third, but we'll save that for the end.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what to make of the ending. Anyway, so then they are playing basketball, throws it in the yard, and they go to get it, and the crazy woman comes out, takes it, you know. So later they come back on Halloween, they break in, and she goes to like ding dong ditch. Some alarms goes off. She just stands there and screams and covers her
Oh
ears.
my
And
god,
I'm like,
that was so funny. Like
Sam,
her
what are you
scream
doing?
was like a real scream
right?
too. It was
It's like
crazy.
they didn't tell her.
Yeah.
That might be
That's
true.
what it felt like because it was so intense for like what I mean, the alarm was loud, I get it, but like it was like her eardrums were popping.
Her instant reaction would have been to run.
Yeah.
100%. No
like,
one would just like cower down unless she was like, you know, had freaking PTSD from being in the war. And she'd be like, oh god.
screaming bloody murder.
Yeah.
It was
No.
so funny.
She would immediately bolted, but of course they had to write it in a way to where it's just going to be BB in the yard by himself. So they come down to help her. She trips onto her face like an idiot.
God.
They run up, they grab her, and then they're like trying to get out, and then they decide to just bolt to the right instead of out the front.
Yeah, I
No
don't
clue
know.
why they would do this.
So much closer to just go through.
Because
the
they don't
gate.
want, because at that point, right, the logic is that at that point, they know she's coming through the door at any second. And if they run now, she's going to see and know it's them.
Right.
But who cares?
Yeah, just get
She
out of there.
locks her freaking gate and never comes out. How she gets food, how she, like, anything, like, I don't understand. That door is always locked. It's locked from the outside.
I know. It's
She,
weird
like-
that it's locked from the outside.
Does she, like, drive her car out like the Clopex and the Burbs or something? Like, out the, you know, the driveway, comes down, meets the delivery guy, and then drives back into the house?
Maybe she is, like, obviously, what is that, agoraphobic?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if she's agoraphobic. She's just, like, ultra paranoid of everybody.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And everyone knows someone like that in the real world.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not your next door neighbor. Hopefully
Maybe,
not.
hopefully not.
Or your across the street neighbor, whatever you'd call that. Your adjacent,
Adjacent
neighbor. I'm your adjacent
Perpendicular
neighbor.
neighbor. You're my adjacent neighbor?
I would be your... No, if you lived across or anywhere around me, I'd be your adjacent neighbor.
I want to live across from you. I want to live
She
with
sleeps
you.
across from me. I'm your adjacent husband.
Oh, no.
No? Okay, moving on.
That's adjacent makes it sound like, I don't know.
It's adjacent. Okay? That's the joke. Can we move on
Yeah,
from
we
it?
can move on.
Yeah, but her running to the right, that is so stupid.
It
But
is.
then BB gets shot by not a BB gun,
No.
but because it's shooting him, it would be a BB gun. Well, I guess if he had a gun, it would be a BB gun. But even if it
If he
didn't
does-
shoot BBs,
Because he's BB.
because he's BB.
He gets shot by a shotgun.
I don't need to explain
A
these jokes.
shotgun is kind of a, what is that?
Not only does
redundant?
she shoot him with a double barrel shotgun, yes, it is redundant, but it also, she shoots it one at a time, then reloads and shoots him again.
It's really sad.
Yeah,
The
he
whole
gets
sequence.
blasted.
And they're just like, no, baby. And he's just like, he's still making noise when he's like dead.
Tom saved his ass though, I'll tell you that, because if he ran out there too, she would have shot him too.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
This
Paul
movie would
would've
have been a much different
dead.
movie. Yeah. And he when they okay, so she gets killed by her dad. He pushes her down the stairs and he's just like, "Come on, get up." And she's just brain dead. So Paul
So
takes it upon himself to save her, right? And so he needs to drug his mom. And so they go do their thing, and we'll talk about that, but for the moment, he comes back after everything he did, and it didn't work at that point. And so he's feeling like this major failure. His girlfriend's dead, right? They had a little kiss in the basketball court, so it's like kind of official, a little bit secret relationship.
His best friend robot is dead.
His best friend robot's dead. His girlfriend's dead. His friend thinks that he's a total nutcase and is probably going to turn against him at any point because he just made him commit a crime, both ethically and literally. And he then comes home to find out that he thinks he kills his mom.
Awful.
And she's laying on the bed. And they definitely make it seem for a minute like she is dead. And you're like, oh my God, he killed her. Is she getting a chip too?
I seriously thought so. I was
is she
like,
going to be Cece?
Dead. Cece?
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a trade-off. Like,
yeah, AA didn't go well.
Oh.
That was an alcoholic robot.
Anonymous.
Yeah. Yeah, alcoholic android.
Alcoholic android.
Yeah.
Aww.
No. Bad jokes tonight. Can we talk about the fact that he has a $200 sleeping bag?
Yes.
In the 80s?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's like a $5,000.
Inflation just went so out of control with you.
I don't know.
$5 billion.
It's like down. Bag. She's like, it's a down sleeping bag. Down? We don't even have a down comforter.
No, hell no.
We don't have down anything.
We have Down syndrome, but that's about it. No.
Down is like super expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know why you would have it as a sleeping bag.
I don't know. Yeah. Sounds ridiculous. It's like glamping.
It sounds bougie as heck. Yeah.
They were doing glamping before glamping was a thing.
Well, he is making all these kinds of robots and stuff, so.
Sure. So yeah, they go to the hospital. They steal the body somehow really easily, like Dexter did with his sister's body. Just like walks it right out the front door, and they're like, "See ya."
Yeah.
Brings it in, puts a little chip in her head, and she has a little foot twitch. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "All right, I don't know. Let's take her home, see what happens."
See what happens.
If she rots, I don't know. We'll dispose of her later.
Then.
Yeah. They bring her home, and she comes back.
She's like...
Christy Swanson is really good as BB the robot.
She really is. It was creepy.
Yeah.
Her movements and stuff, like, she had it down. She was really,
Yeah, as you said, the eyes thing.
Yeah, she would, like, move her eyes and then her head would, like, follow delayed.
Yeah.
Which is very robotic feeling.
And the fact that she does...
And then this...
Like, his hands are like this because he only has, like, 2 fingers, and she keeps her fingers like this.
You're sad.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of in Total Recall when he has to activate the air thing. He has to put his hand like that. I think it's like this because they have 4 fingers, so it's not exactly the same. Or it's like rolling, but after the lobstrosities.
Oh yeah.
Moving on. Moving on. Or when he spins the bullet. Maybe you haven't gotten to that yet.
I don't think so.
You'll see. Good stuff. She's reading The Dark Tower. Doesn't matter. Moving
500 years it's taking.
It's taking you a long time. She's on book 2.
In like 2 months.
And she's a fast reader. She just doesn't have time. All right. Then from there, the robot stuff. I love it. I love the look, her eyes, the darkness. She just looks good.
She does.
She's a hot robot. And then, of course, the granddaddy of it all, the basketball kill, is just the best shit ever.
That was amazing.
It's so unexpected.
It really is.
It's so visceral.
Yes.
It's so violent and gory.
Yeah.
And it's usually, okay, what I love about this scene is not only do we get the head explosion, right, which would usually, like, go into, like, another scene. Or, like, blood spraying all over her or something. Yeah. But it, like, goes to her for a second, and then it comes back to her headless body flailing around, blood spraying everywhere, her knocking everything over, and it goes on for, like, another 5 full seconds of her headless body just, like, finally collapsing, blood everywhere. It's amazing.
It's so cool. And, I just realized, too, like, so... Samantha, like, the kill for her dad isn't that brutal. Like, she just, like, snaps his neck.
Yeah, it's super lame.
But BB, like, the one that kills BB, the neighbor, gets the super violent kill. So I wonder, because, like, they're kind of both in her body, as we can see, like, towards the end, like, Samantha, like, and even just throughout, she, like, comes out a little bit. So obviously, like, maybe she wanted revenge against her dad killing her, but she's not, like, an ultra-violent, like, evil person. So the kill is just kind of, like, snap your neck.
I don't think that's what it is.
And BB's,
so,
like, head explosion.
Yeah, so what I think is happening here is I think that there is a mirroring. And it's a mirroring of both personalities, right? So you've got the dad kill, which, you know, the dad throws her down the stairs and, you know, hurts, you know, fucks her spine up and her head, right? So she breaks his neck. So she
also throws him downstairs too.
Oh, there you go.
Well, she makes him trip.
Right, so she snaps his neck kind of like he just does to her, right? Mm-hmm. Second one, the neighbor. She shoots him, shoots his fucking head off, blows, you know, and she shoots her head off. And then, you know, the bully, when BB first encounters the bully, grabs him by the dick. Mm-hmm. And when she encounters the bully, she grabs him by the dick.
Yeah.
And throws him by the dick. So it's all just replays of what, you know, has happened to either one of them with these people.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's all that is, I think. But yeah, I would have much preferred. I mean, the dad does get burned for a while before his death, so he does go through some pain. She breaks his arm backwards.
Yeah.
She pushes him up against the boiler. He's burning. His back is burning. Then she cooks his ass alive, and he comes out and some teeth are like coming out of his jaw and everything. So, I mean, he's dead at that point, but still, he goes through some agony, some fear. It's not like just a quick little, like, kills him in his sleep kind of thing.
No, it's not. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's just...
You want to see his, like, arm being torn off, and you want him to be beaten with it and then sodomized with it. Yeah. Me too. Me too. And let's see. Yeah, we already talked about all that stuff. When she jumps out the window at Tom, that shit was so unexpected and funny. That was insane.
She was just like...
Yeah.
Totally burst through the window.
And that's not even her most memorable jump in this movie.
No, the jump that happens later when she's being chased by, like, the police and Paul and everyone. She jumps over the police car.
Yeah.
And, like...
She does her, like, best E.T. impression. And ascends over the car. And... we actually rewound it and we watched it like 3 times in a row, and I was like slow-moing it because I couldn't figure out how they did it because I couldn't see any wires, and this is before they would be able to remove them all that well. So I don't know if they got someone who could jump really high, but she, like, the way she lifted and continued to keep lifting, it didn't seem real.
No.
So I couldn't figure out how the hell it was done, but then we caught a glimpse of one of the cops in the background as she was jumping. He was just like,
he's like...
His brain had exploded.
So shocked.
He'd been hit in the head with a basketball.
100%.
Metaphorically.
Yes.
He's just like, blah, he just could not handle it. Yeah. But then, what's funny about that, though, is like, I made a comment right after, and Kaylee responded with that very thing. It was like, why are the cops not chasing her? Why is Paul the only one chasing Sam now? She jumps over the car, and Kaylee's like, because their freaking brains exploded. The cops are just like, they can't chase anymore. How'd she jump like that?
They couldn't explain
She threw a bully like 15 feet, and they were like, and then she jumped over her car, and they were like,
there's a lot of like that.
Yeah, Paul needs to go make those guys some chips for their brains.
Chips for everyone.
Yeah, DD and EE.
DD and EE.
It's just gonna keep going.
FF,
until he runs out.
GG.
Once he gets to the 25th person, they can't do anymore. Because there's no, like, you could go to BBB, but that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous at that point. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
We're moving on. And the ending of this movie, like, it's, okay, I should say before the very ending of this movie, but like, Samantha BB, her, like, kind of, her brain is finally starting to work, which of course makes me think, if Paul could have went into the lab with her,
Yeah.
and made some adjustments because she
Yeah.
was starting to like function correctly. It took a little while, but she was starting to actually like her vision was going clear. Her vision before that was worse than Van Damme's in Bloodsport.
Oh man, so
Like,
much worse.
So much worse.
But she was fine. She could see clearly.
She could see
She
clearly.
could do a lot of stuff.
Yes, but Van Damme could not.
No,
And
she
his vision
couldn't.
was much better. Blurred edges. I can't even tell who the ref is. I have to feel his clothes to be able to
we
tell
love
the literal fucking guy I can see right there in front of me.
We love Van Damme.
And he's like, it's the best.
Yeah, her vision is really bad, and it starts to get clear.
Yeah.
So I think
So
you're
does
right.
her brain.
I feel like if he had been able to troubleshoot and put some like a patch on there or something,
Yeah.
like maybe she would have actually been okay. Because she
Sure.
does speak for the first time in the end too. She says his name.
Yeah, she starts
And
speaking
she's
clearly.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
She also says BB earlier, but she says it in BB's voice.
Sure, she doesn't talk throughout almost the entirety of her robot phase, but like towards the end when she gets agitated and is being chased, then she gets into like the Jawa speak.
BB!
Baby! Brr. And then
That's
she
amazing.
You think that was her singing the theme song at the end after she killed Paul?
BB. BB.
She's like BB.
BB. Yes,
Yeah.
I do think so.
Okay. I don't think so.
I do.
But it is. It's super sad. She's like
really sad.
finally operating correctly. And then they piss her off again and she like reverts back and she's like, oh, Paul. And then they're like, dude, this. And then she's like, she does that. And it's all in slow-mo. He's like, no. She's like,
Like,
crab hands.
it's like kind of funny, but also like I love it and it is a little scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird combo.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she runs at him in slow mo too, and she's got her teeth bared.
Yeah. It's like a commercial for Red Lobster.
She's a freaking lobstrosity.
Yeah, she sure is.
Yeah.
And then the cop, like, seriously, you don't need your guns. I mean, she did just throw a guy and jump over a car.
Yeah, I don't think
maybe
they
he
are
does
wanting to
need
take
it.
any chances.
But like a
with her.
taser would have worked. Probably shorted her chip though.
Short circuit.
Yeah.
And she's like,
And then
I'm
she'd have been
gonna.
like, I'm
Don't you want
number
to be
5?
a pepper too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad
It really
because
is.
like, dude, this girl is abused by her father.
Yeah.
She like falls for her neighbor, and then like once she's finally happy, her father kills her. And then she comes back as this kind of Frankenstein's monster, like, you know,
She comes back as a
2.0.
freak.
Sure. And then when she like starts to register, because I don't know how like cognitively like aware,
Yeah.
you know, she is,
Right.
but
I
like,
think there's like still bits of her in there, but I think it's mostly BB, like because it's BB's brain.
but it's bad BB.
But it's angry BB because
Yeah,
BB's been
it's
acting
BBB.
differently.
It's bad BB.
Bad BB.
Yeah.
BB.
So I don't know like how much of it is her, because BB wants revenge for what happened to Sam, right? Sam's mad at her dad, right?
Yeah.
And then the 2 kills from there is BB's,
Yes.
right? Like Sam's not that mad at the neighbor, and she's not that
No.
mad at the bully.
No.
BB is,
BB's very
right?
mad.
But BB is mad. BB ain't mad at the dad, because Sam's not even dead
Right.
when he dies. So
Right.
he doesn't even know Sam was killed. I'm sure
Yeah.
if BB found out that he was, killed her, then he might go, haywire.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't. So I don't see any reason to believe that he would want. It's just, that's all her.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of working in tandem. But so I don't know. I don't know how much of it's BB and how much of it's her. I would say it's more BB than her, but she has some input.
I agree. I think it's more BB than her. And
Yeah.
she's got a little bit.
Input.
Input. Beautiful.
And then we get the ending. So he tries to sneak in. He's going to save her again. This time, I guess he's going to fix her heart.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe that's where she was shot. Looked like that's about where she was shot. And she wakes up, grabs him, and starts to turn into this BB hybrid human, endoskeleton
It's
underneath.
crazy.
Freaking Terminator T-800 ripping through his flesh, and
the
then
way her face looks.
BB could be short for Bumblebee because the
He's
yellow face,
transforming?
it does look like Bumblebee, the yellow Transformer from the Transformers
Maybe
movie.
both BB-8 and Bumblebee were named after BB.
Transformers definitely would have come out around this time for sure. Transformers is old.
Oh yeah.
The cartoon is real old.
I forgot.
But regardless, I know you weren't really that serious, but I do not know what to make of this ending. It plays like the two dreams.
It does, but
So I have to believe that's a dream.
because I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. It does play exactly like the dreams, but
How would she start to grow?
the skeleton, like robot.
Yeah.
She wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't.
Unless she wouldn't.
She
just wouldn't?
She just wouldn't. That's it.
So I think it's a dream.
Bye. I'm just kidding. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be.
But it's a great ending. It's really cool.
I think it just leaves us off like it's a nightmare,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a nightmare, and the credits roll, and it's like okay, that's like in his head, and he just is once again feeling guilt.
Yeah.
The credits are probably him blowing his brains out,
BB.
right? No, what? Paul just
No,
died in his sleep.
The song.
This happened to
BB.
him, and then he just
BB.
died, and the blackness is the afterlife.
Jeez.
And then all he hears in the afterlife
It's
is
just
BB.
BB.
BB. That's his hell. He has to listen to that forever. Like, it's funny for like 5 minutes.
And then he's like, nah, never mind.
But it's
Take
like,
it back.
nah, no.
No more.
No, that's the nightmare. Super fun.
Really fun.
Way better than I remember, obviously. And I'm glad to have rewatched it. It came with the Twisted Terror collection that I bought specifically for someone's watching me, the John Carpenter film. But it came with Deadly Friend. And it also came with The Hand with Michael Caine. Eyes of a Stranger with, that's Jennifer Jason Leigh, I think. And then Dr. Giggles, which is a super fun movie. I think that's all that came with it. Maybe another one that I'm forgetting. But regardless, cool pack. I'm glad I bought that because I got this with it. And it's at that time, it was the only way you could get John Carpenter's made-for-TV movie that he made the same year as Halloween. And we'll watch that one day. I've seen it. I've reviewed it on the channel, but Kaylee has not.
I have not.
And we're going to now, unfortunately, move on to review Chiller, which actually came before this, but I just didn't feel like talking about it yet.
We're putting it off.
Because I have nothing to say. I can give you the review right now. It's terrible. Don't watch it at the end. I should just be like tack on and bonus Chiller review.
100%.
But we're going to do it. I know, it's awful.
No.
But it's going to be like 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right. See you there. Bye.
Bye.